Hey, what's up everybody? It's B Plus and welcome back to yet another recap countdown segment. We're going to be taking a look at Taelor Gray's brand new project entitled Find a Way to Smile Again. Now, if you've been a fan of the channel, you've been around for a little bit, you know that my very first recap countdown album review that I did was of Taelor Gray's project at the time in 2018, and the name of that project was The Love Don't Last Long. So I've been a long-time fan of Taelor Gray and he keeps getting better and better, and today we're going to dive into this new album that he has. Once again, the name of it is Find a Way to Smile Again. So we're going to take a look at my 5 favorite bars. Taelor Gray is just a rapper's rapper, so you know there's going to be a lot of bars in this. Then we're going to take a look at my 4 favorite pieces of production, my 4 favorite beats, and he had 2 heavyweights in Wit and also Swoop, so you want to stick around for my 4 favorite beats. Then we're going to get into my 3 favorite tracks. Very hard to choose from, but I think I whittled everything down to my 3 favorite tracks. Then I'll get into my 2 favorite features. He only had 1 official feature on this project, but we do have 2 features or more than 1 feature on this project, and we'll dig into that. And then I'll run everything out with 1 final recap. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dig into this album.
5 bars.
Grateful that these scriptures ain't just poetry. The lines fell on pleasant places. For you know the healing, you gon' have to feel your desperation. Yeah, see there's design in this chaos, and we invoke the ghost of resurrection in this seance. Pin play, hey yo, this is the type of music you won't find on Christian radio. This is the type of rapping y'all ain't hearing at the stadiums. This is for the fathers making runs on Saturday. This is for the saints who ain't waiting for the latter days. Feeling like even when you teach me through my choices and my pain, yeah. Even when you put me back together with the flame, I will not run, no, I will not hide. I'm blind, naked, weary, and it's cold outside. So to me, I came up on the rough side, intense personality, but I don't have no tough side. I turn the dial in the safe inside the vault. Keep your head held high and some bass when you talk, with some cool in your walk. I try to mimic Michael, and that's the aura that you bring. You feel it on this mic though. You feel it, you feeling like Kobe on the breakaway. Like I've been writing rhymes on a paper plane, waiting on the Lord till he make a way. Why these hooks got him reaching for the skies like Kareem? I'm too different for this world like a deem.
Okay, so I hope you guys can really see what I mean when I say that Taelor Gray is just your rapper's rapper. A lot of bars, a lot to choose from. So this is the best I came up with the 5 bars that I chose. So starting off with Put Me Back Together, that's the opening track on this particular project, and I just really like in that line how he talked about how scripture is more than just poetry. It's more than just these pretty words that you just read, and they're not hollow. There's something that's going to be able to really point you through the chaos of life. So I thought that was a very dope line. Moving on to I've Been Around, that was the 4th favorite bar I had on here. Thought that was really dope too, just because I remember listening to that, and right as he was getting through the first verse and getting to the chorus, like my first thought was like, hey, I want to put this on my radio show. And then the very first line he had in the second verse was, this is the type of music you're not going to hear on Christian radio. So the first thing I thought of was like that Usher meme with the whole watch this thing. So I was like, I'm definitely going to put this on just because it really resonates with me. My favorite style of Christian hip hop, my favorite style of Christian rap is like that adult contemporary style of rap. I'm talking about things that are for kind of like older fans. Like I'm 38. I know I don't look it. I have a wife, I have 2 young kids, and like they really speak to some of the things that are going on in my life right now. So that was my 4th favorite bar. Moving on to number 3, Elohim. I really like that line just because God does teach us through the choices that we make, and those choices bring consequences. He's not necessarily heaping these bad things on us. It's the choices we made, and then we have consequences for it. But then also there's some times in life where we just have to go through rainy seasons. We just have to go through pain seasons, and God is there with us, and he carries us through all that. And moving on to my 2nd favorite bar on Whole Man, I think that Taelor Gray just really speaks to the edge that he had to put on himself to kind of survive the environment that he was in. And he references the kind of like the swag that he had was from Michael. He doesn't really clarify which Michael, and like the time where me and Taylor grew up, like all the Michaels were dominating, whether it was Michael Jackson, whether it was Michael Jordan, whether it was Michael Johnson running in those not red shoes, in those gold shoes, or Mike Tyson. So it could have been either of those. So I like how he kind of left that kind of open for you to kind of interpret that. And then my first favorite bar on the project was Miracle on Glengate, just because like I love NBA bars. I'm a hooper, so I really enjoy like that reaching for the sky, like Kareem, like with the sky hook. And then Kobe on the breakaway, that's how he started out that bar. Thought that was dope. And then he had like the reference to the old school TV sitcom, like Kadeem. I thought that was really dope too, with a different world. So man, he just really showed off his skill on this entire project as far as the bars are concerned. But let's go ahead and hop over to my 4 favorite beats.
4 beats.
Yeah, I've been getting space, and you should talk to God before you get up in my face.
The homies say what's up, the family say what's up. Yo, this is just the holiness, tell me who you trust. I've been around,
I've been getting space, and you should talk to God before you get up in my face.
the homies say what's up, the family say what's up.
Swoop the genius as always. Yo, this the Miracle on Glengate. 30 years later and the residence is in state. Yeah, now we talking escrow, now we talking legacy and family manifestos. Come and make it clean, come and lift us up from this valley in between. Yeah, piece it all together with the stitches and the seams. Take me to the Elohim. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want for anything. Nah, I shall not run from anything. Even when you hit, wait, don't you tell me about most cases. Don't you put me around those races. I'ma show you how I make it. No matter how it punish me, no matter if you publish me, you never gonna be done with me. So start to count at 1. Connected when I swung. How I'm teaching good news when they put that spectrum on my son. My mom raised me exceptional. Y'all want me to apologize?
Okay, so let's go ahead and hop into my 4 favorite pieces of production, my 4 favorite beats. Let me give a quick preface before I get into it. I could have picked any number of these songs to be in my top 4, but this is what I settled with. It's been a long time since I just heard Swoop and Wit just kind of go back and forth with their production. It's been about 10 years since we got We Live as Kings, and that's the last time where I believe that we got Wit and Swoop on the same track, just doing most of the production on the project. So that was a throwback for me. I really enjoyed it. So let's go ahead and get into my top 4. I've Been Around, that was produced by Wit. I really like how Wit is able to capture that classic hip hop sound. I like his use of the kick, and I was trying to make out the sound of that snare. I couldn't make out what it was, but I loved it. So that was number 4. Moving on to number 3, Miracle on Glengate, one of my favorite songs on this album, just because Taylor just showed off that he can rap. And one thing that you need when you have a track like this is just something really simple, sample and the piano, just to kind of be slightly underneath, and then you just really just showcase the particular artist, their bars. So, and I thought Swoop did a very good job cutting up and chopping things up on that particular song. Moving on to number 2, Elohim, that was produced by Wit. If I can use the word beautiful on a hip hop track, this would be it. Like, and I really enjoyed how at the end of the song, they just let the beat ride for about maybe 40 to 50 seconds. I put it on loop just to hear that over and over and over again, because that's a really beautiful hip hop track. So that could just be a standalone instrumental, and I would really dig it. So let's move on to my first favorite piece of production. It was produced by Swoop. That was Put Me Back Together, which was the opening of the project. I liked it just because it really set the stage for the entire project. And you have to hear it from the beginning of the track and just kind of see how it slowly builds. The production just builds and builds and builds right along with Taylor's passion and his delivery. So that's my first favorite piece of production. Now let's go ahead and head over to my 3 favorite tracks.
3 favorites.
And I remember when I was wishing for the trumpets, when I was called a shepherd, a whole church full of trumpers. They met me with suspicion and assumptions, but I was on a mission of destruction, and the building was the barrier. The building about to bury us. Moses freed the people, but the children came from Miriam. And this ain't thought-provoking, man, it's feeling like you daring us. It's like King Darius, but look at how he cared for us, and you can say we married up. Yeah, I've been getting space, and you should talk to God before you get up in my face. I know I've been forgiven, but now it's time to show it, then learn that I've been growing. I bet I got my own alabaster box full of Tom Ford fragrances, repentance from the heart. Yo, this is the type of lesson that you finish when you start, yeah. This the type confession get replenished by the art, so what's forgiveness? You can't give it till you have it. It's time to heal the whole man and finally close the chapter. Tell a little Taylor that he gon' smile again. Where you going ain't nothing like where you even been. Then point me to the hiding place. The fire escape, go to the higher place. I'm trying to place the scene. Interpretation coming when you dream. The senses overwhelmed in the temple of the king. So take me to that rock that we can lean. Put my arms up and swing with my arms in a sling. Put my arms up and sing. It's the song that we know. When it all falls apart, man, that's all that we know. We want the healing. And if it never comes, am I really happy with this breath in my lungs?
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about my 3 favorite tracks off of Taelor Gray's Find a Way to Smile Again. Starting off with number 3, I've Been Around, Well Check. This one was so hard to wrap my brain around of why I enjoyed it so much. I don't know if it was just the energy that Taelor brought. I don't know if it was the delivery, the production, but the best way to kind of summarize what that song gives me, what that song makes me feel is, it just makes you want to be in the room when he actually performs this song live. I mean, the call and response is going to happen from the crowd. The crowd's going to feed off of him, he's going to feed off of the crowd, and it's just going to make for an amazing hip-hop experience. So I don't know if Taelor has performed it live yet, but I would love to be in the building when he performs that song at some point, just because I just think it's a hit. So let's go ahead and hop over to number 2, The Whole Man. I really enjoyed that song just because it's a song of healing, it's a song of God's faithfulness, it's a song of resting in the Lord after the work is being done, obviously. So if you go to the couple of songs before, just talking about just understanding the reasons and then finally being able to speak the truth, then you come to this point to where he's just able to be a whole man. So I just really enjoyed that 3-song run. And then right after that comes my number 1 song on this project, which is Elohim, which is just a triumphant declaration that that Taelor is okay. He still mentions in this song, I believe, that he misses his mom, but at the same time, there's a resolve there that Taelor just kind of brings with this song, and it's just a triumphant end to the project. And like I said, it just had the outro where they just kind of let the beat breathe a little bit. I just thought it was the perfect ending to this project. So that's my favorite off of the project. Now let's head over to my 2 favorite features.
2 features.
Into marvelous light I'm running, out of darkness, out of shame. By the cross, you are the truth, you are the life, you are the way.
Yo, I'm changing a lot, but I like it. I wonder if the old me would be frightened. Would he say I was enlightened? Would he see that I was free and be excited? Or say I need to sit down and be discipled? What a fight. I was beating down doors, trying to collect my flowers, but I can plant my own garden with $1. This dynamic of changing diapers and picking prom dresses is a fine lesson. Home is where I find treasure and define pleasure. I spent 2 years quarantined in my closet. Now I go outside, have conversations, and leave exhausted.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about my 2 favorite features off of Taelor Gray's Find a Way to Smile Again. So coming in at number 2 was Aubrey Lawrence. I am 99% sure that that is his sister, and she is singing on this track, and it's right at the end of Speak the Truth, and it leads right into Whole Man. I thought that it was the perfect placement for this voice memo to kind of slide right in there to kind of bridge the gap between those 2 songs. And I just thought it was just a nice touch. It was only a few bars, a few little snippets there, but I thought it was very poignant in this particular project. So moving on from there, my first favorite feature on this project was Armin Wake Up. That is on Understand the Reasons. They have a special connection. They do podcasts together. They've done a couple EPs together that they've released on Bandcamp. They just have a chemistry amongst each other, and I just felt that he was a very good add to this project. It made so much sense, and the way he just kind of summarized the year 2020, it was just spot on. It's a year that I don't want to go back and repeat. It was just a tough year. I learned a lot through it, but I just thought that Armin really kind of keyed into what that year was in his line there on that song. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into one final recap.
1 recap.
All right, so I want to thank you guys for checking out this recap countdown of Taelor Gray's Find a Way to Smile Again. Like I was saying at the top of this segment, this is not the first time that I've covered a project of his. It's actually not the second time that I've done a recap countdown on one of his albums. I actually did one a few years ago when he had a project by the name of Touch Not Mine Anointed. That entire project was produced by Swoop, so he's not a stranger of working directly with Swoop. And one thing I really enjoyed about that project, as I mentioned, mentioned on my recap countdown when I did one on that project is the intro of that particular album had his mother on there, his late mother on there, Leanne. So and I just really liked what she had to say. She said something that I hear from my mom all the time, and she said that I see it all. My mom may not use those exact words, but she kind of speaks to that she's always seen this greatness in me. Even when I talk to her, even now, about the different things that I'm working on, whether it's my 9-to-5 job or whether I have going on with the radio station or with my YouTube channel, she's always there each and every premiere whenever I'm dropping a video, and I'm really appreciative of that. And she always reminds me that, like, I didn't know what it was, but I knew that it was something special. So it really resonates, the story of he and his mother. And I actually got a little teary-eyed just listening to this project, having known that the connection that he had with his mother from his last project. So I do want to do one last thing before I get out of here with this recap countdown. I just want to walk through his album title by title, track by track, just so you guys can see the importance of putting together a really cohesive album. So with that being said, let's go ahead and look at this track by track. Start with number 1, Put Me Back Together. Now that was just a good intro to the entire project. This kind of letting you know what you were getting yourself into, letting you know that, like, hey, he's going through a grieving process. And I just thought it was a great intro to the project. Then you kind of move on to track number 2, him just letting you know that, like, though I've gone through this, I've been around, I'm okay. It's like kind of like a wellness check. Like when you like when somebody passes in your family, people bring you over hot meals and they just kind of take care of you during that time. And it's almost just kind of like they just making sure they're okay. Hopefully they're not doing a whole lot of talking. Hopefully they're just listening, or they're just being there for you during those times. So that was track number 2. Track number 3, I believe that's his father preaching. I'm not sure, but I think it's his father preaching. And then moving on to track number 4, Miracle on Glengate. I believe that's a street that he grew up on or grew up around. So that's just kind of speaking to, okay, he's getting ready to go into this therapy type session. Even though the song was just a rapidy rap song and he was just really going in on it, it really just kind of speaks to his origins. And then the next couple of tracks, like I was saying earlier, Understand the Reasons and then Speak the Truth. That's just all about therapy to me. It's all about just kind of going through those tough segments, those tough seasons of life, and just kind of talking through it. And then, like I said, Aubrey Lawrence comes in and she sings those short, sweet, simple lines, and that leads into The Whole Man, and then Whole Man leads into Elohim, and there you have it. You have a clean, concise project that tells a story. It has a beginning, middle, and end. The beginning really kind of sets you up for what you're going to be getting yourself into, and then there's a conclusion. So I just really enjoyed this project. I think it's one of Taelor Gray's greatest works. So if you enjoyed this, make sure you go to wherever streaming platforms you go to, whether it's Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, and the list goes on and on. Make sure you go there and run up the numbers for Taelor Gray's Find a Way to Smile Again. Once again, I want to thank you guys for making it to the very end of this video. I really, really appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. So make sure you drop down in the comment section below and let me know what your favorite bars were, what your favorite beats were, your favorite tracks, your favorite features were. Also, make sure you go over to Twitter and look me up on there. I can be found at DJ_B_plus. I have a lot of fun over there interacting with the Christian hip hop community. So make sure you go and do that. I also have a radio show which airs on SiriusXM channel 154 and Holy Culture Radio each and every Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's called the Be Positive Music Show. So make sure you go do that. We do have a free code for you guys to get 90 free days of SiriusXM. So make sure you look that up. Don't let that be an excuse for not checking us out. You can also go over to holyculture.net and you can listen to the previous week's show each and every Saturday at that exact same time. So you can get it there for free. You'll just be a week in the rear. So I really appreciate you guys. And until next time, peace in, confusion out, and be positive.